Hello and welcome back to the Prepared Mind channel. Today we're going to revisit a topic we've done before, but I want to try and address it in a new way. It's something that we're all going to discover when shit hits the fan, and we're going to wish we had more of it. And you're never going to know if you really have it. Alrighty, welcome back. I was a little cryptic there, a little mysterious. First, I want to say a big thank you to Ooman for sending me this Scotch bucket. The skull and crossbones on one side. On the other side it says, "There comes a time when a man must spit on his hands, hoist the black flag, and begin to slit throats. Ranger up." And that is a mighty tall glass of the good stuff. So, what is this incredible commodity I've talked about? What can I possibly be talking about that you're going to wish you had more of when shit hits the fan? And you're going to never know if you have any, if you have enough, if you have a surplus or anything. What the hell am I talking about? I'm talking about something intangible. Trust. Who are you going to be able to trust? How long? Under what circumstances? What does trust mean to you? This is something that as a prepper, as someone who is preparing for shit hits the fan, you're going to have to examine this. If you don't, you are putting yourself in harm's way. You're committing great folly, you know. You are. I know I need to give this up. It truly is a type of poison. And I know I need to give these up. But they're so damn delicious. And it's, again, another mild spring day in my area. It'll probably be snowing again tomorrow. It was snowing yesterday. Snowing today. Anyways, you know, trust. What does it mean when shit hits the fan? Right? I want to ask some real broad questions. Like in the year 2019, right now, who can you trust? Who can you trust? Can you trust me? Can you trust yourself? Okay, you know, you got your answer on someone personal. How about the president? Can you really trust him? Can you trust Congress? Can you trust the Supreme Court? Can you trust on the state level those politicians, and the local level, your local leaders? Can you trust lawyers? How about celebrities? How about sports athletes? Can you trust them? How about musicians? Can you trust them? Right? How about someone a little closer to home? How about coworkers, casual acquaintances? Can you trust them? How about the banks? Can you trust them? Can you trust the computer makers and gizmo device makers? Can you trust car dealers, right? How about friends and family? Can you trust them? Really, honestly, can you trust them? You know, would you today be able to put all your money, you know, liquidate all your stocks or empty your bank account, put it on the table and say, I need you to watch this, and I'm going to go away for 6 months. Can you trust them? right? It's interesting. You know, right? If you can't trust anyone, what does that say about the world we live in? What does that say about you? What does that say about them? What does it say about the morality? What is that saying? Right? And right now they're good. Right? There's electricity, people have gas in their cars, we've all got full bellies. If we can't trust people now, what makes you think you're going to be able to trust them when things go bad? When shit hits the fan? Right? When things go bad, if we can't trust politicians now, can we expect them to make good decisions when things go bad? They're good now, they suck. When they're bad, what do you expect? You expect them to flip a 180, flip a bitch, and start acting like a decent human? How about your family members, your coworkers? If you can't turn your back on them for 6 months and trust them with your life, what makes you think you're going to be able to trust them when shit hits the fan? What's going to change on them? Right? You know, you've got a cell phone. That's what I'm recording this video on. Thank you, man. Right? What's that cell phone doing to us right now? The cell phone's betraying us. It's betraying me to the NSA, the CIA, the FBI, politicians, tech corporations, technocrats, banks. Snitches on me all the time. Right? I trust that, or can I trust this, right? Cold blue steel. I trust this. It only does what I want it to do. By the way, this is a Series 70 Colt Gold Cup. It's had a little bit of work done to it. I trust it. But that's not a person, right? But it is. It's an extension. The phone is the extension of technology. Technology is human thought manifest, right, in machines and computers. So this phone is betraying me. The people who are behind it would betray me and you in a second. People that made that gun back in the 1970s, they're probably all dead. Surely John Browning isn't betraying me. No. When I go to shoot that, it's going to work. Right? Pull the trigger, one shot, one kill. Right through the bullseye every fucking time. You buy a modern gun today, is there a computer chip in it somewhere? Do they want to control you with that? Right? You know, there's other questions I have. You know, what do you trust? It's a C-note. It's a good old Ben Franklin right there. $100. You know, we all got to work our tails off to get these things. You know, do you trust it? It's got little computer strips in it. In order to get it, I got to pay taxes. Government knows everything about me, right? And if someone makes a mistake or a decision somewhere, someone that I can't trust, like a banker, this becomes valueless. Not even good for wiping my ass. This, on the other hand, is an ounce of silver. Right? Anchor, globe, and eagle. That's 1 ounce of silver. I can trust it. I can trust it to be silver all day long. You know. How about this thing? How about a credit card? Can I trust a Visa? No, it snitches on me. It snitches on me. My purchases are reported. You know. But what I can trust is I can trust the food that I buy, right? Being a prepper puts you in a position, in other words, to trust in yourself. Self-reliance. No longer, when you're a prepper, do you rely on the untrustworthy out there, from the highest level to the low, even to the people that supply us goods, right? Technology, things that we think we need, trust. But they're faceless and nameless, right? So let's go back to, right, when shit hits the fan, who are you going to trust? How do you know you can trust them? And once again, you can't trust them today, really. What makes you think you're going to be able to trust them when shit hits the fan? Right? I joined the Marine Corps, right? And I discovered that half the people in there you can trust, and the other half you can trust them to fuck you over. You can trust them to hurt people, to get people killed, to not give a fuck. Right? That's an organization. How about the Lions Club or the Elks Club or the Masons? Can you trust them if you're one of them? No, maybe that's a different kind of bond. You know, I do run into servicemen, and it doesn't really matter the branch of service. It's the type of person that's out there that you can trust. And like family, whether someone's in the Army or the Navy or the Marines, whether someone's an elk, a moose, a mason, odd fellow, how can you trust them? You can't know. You can't know until it's time. You know, it was a person I trusted once. That person tried stealing everything from me, including my soul. Right? Someone that you think you can trust. Can you trust love? Right? Another intangible. You know, blood is supposed to be thicker than water, right? What can you really trust? When shit hits the fan, how are you going to know? Right, these are rhetorical questions. Seriously, make you examine. There's people in my group that I know, and I know them really well. Some people are obligated to me more than others and in different ways. But how can we truly trust each other? Does combat make someone trustworthy? Well, I'm sure there's a lot of servicemen who have slept with their partners' wives when they weren't looking. You can trust them in the field of battle, but you may not be able to trust them in your backyard. So what kind of trust are you looking for when shit hits the fan? Right? Trust with your life. It's a whole different kind of trust. You're not going to have to worry about paper money. There's not going to be a whole lot of time for love. Right? Trust. Have you really thought about it? Or are you just going at it blind? Is there an oath you should take to each other? Well, we try holding politicians accountable with oaths. Put your hand on the Bible, swear to God, talk about what you're going to defend, uphold, protect, swear it. Look at how well that's worked for us. Obama, Clinton, right? Bush, Nixon, LBJ. Back and back and back you go. Who can you really trust? Whoa. Who can you trust? Is an oath make someone trustworthy? Or do you just know? How can you know? Is trust something you can test? Right? I've known people that I should trust in two different ways. Right? I end up getting burned. You know? Just because they're an asshole, right? Someone who belongs, has several obligations, still burn the fuck out of me. People are sneaky bastards. How can you trust them? This is, by the way, not a new question. And also, when shit hits the fan, what little choice is it that we're left with? Do you have a choice? What happens when someone breaks trust when shit hits the fan? Where are you going to go with that? What if within my group there's someone in the military, you should understand what trust is, and they burn me or burn someone else? What are you going to do about it? Are you going to throw them out? Are you going to execute them? Are you going to hold a trial? You're going to forgive and forget? Right? Will they do it again? Right? These are important questions. These things are going to come up. Maybe not all at once, but they'll come up. That truck behind me, I can trust it to start. But humans are a huge animal, hugely difficult to predict. And it's a question I examine all the time. How can I trust the people I know? What can I trust them to do? This came up in town today. I had a little meeting with some other preppers, and we discussed the communist problem, socialist problem. We discussed the fact that Mac out there, the Delaware prepper, he went to a Second Amendment rally today, and there were Antifa, commie, antagonistic pricks there. And I said, hey, we got commies here too. Everyone's got commies and socialists, Democrats if you want to be polite, right? But they want what's yours. In other words, they're taking the trust we were given by the Almighty, right? What is that trust? Well, that you have your own life and you can do what you want with it. And they've turned it into everyone else owes them. They've broken trust with take care of yourself, right? And how about the golden rule? Do unto others as you would have them do unto you. But every socialist I know, every last one of them believes that what they own is theirs and what you own is theirs. That's a violation of that trust. So anyways, we got commies here. Those people across town that I talked to. I said, what are you going to do? And they said something along the lines of the same thing that this bucket here says. Something about, you're going to have to hoist the flag and begin to slit throats. Right? It's coming to that. We're getting closer to shit hitting the fan. Right? By the way, the skull and bones, it's kind of an ancient thing, kind of Masonic, kind of a Jolly Roger pirate thing, kind of a Knights Templar thing, kind of ancient beyond ancient. Different groups adopt it. The symbology of it, the meaning behind it, the code. Right? This one says Ranger up. Army Rangers. Is that it? How are we going to trust each other? What can you trust people to do and not do? And I know, once again, I'm asking a lot of rhetorical questions, but have you asked yourself those questions? Have you asked that question of your spouse or significant other? Have you asked the question in your group of your other members? How can I trust you? What bond is there between us? How strong or how valuable is that bond? Is it negotiable? That's negotiable. Not only its existence, but its value. Right? It's worth $100 today, may not be worth a spit or a cup of coffee tomorrow. Right? It's negotiable. So is your trust with someone else negotiable? Or is it non-negotiable? You see, I don't like negotiable items, things with negotiable value. I like things that have real value. This is not negotiable. It doesn't negotiate. When I pull the trigger, it doesn't ask me why. That's mine. Right? What are you going to do, and how can you trust somebody? Right? I think, fortunately, I've seen an awful lot. Stuff works too. I've seen an awful lot of misdeed and mistrust in my life. Starting with these guys right here, the bad people in it, and then I also met some of the best fucking people on the planet there. Right. Had a bit of a checkered history in there. Made a lot of friends, made a lot of enemies. When shit hits the fan, are we going to make friends and make enemies? Or are we going to make friends and kill our enemies? You know, how does it work? It is going to be very difficult. Extremely difficult. But look in your world right now. Look around. Who do you trust? Why do you trust them? Do they trust you? What's your track record? Is your trust negotiable? Meaning, does the value of that change? Can you value a friend or a prepper one day and not the next? You know, if you make an error, a mistake, if you slip up, right? If you fall short, does that make you untrustworthy, or does that make someone else untrustworthy, or did they just make a mistake? Right? People make mistakes all the time. I don't think that's a violation of trust. Right? Can it be? Someone who falls asleep on watch, well, they didn't mean to, it happened. You trusted them not to, but people got killed because of it. Is that a violation of trust? There's so many questions to ask. Right? We can only do it 1 second at a time, 1 minute at a time, within a day, within a week. When shit hits the fan, you're going to need to sit down and you're going to have to come to terms with this shit. I can tell you right now, though, my best guess is when shit hits the fan, you're going to play the hand that you have. And you're going to have to trust that it's a good hand. You're going to have to trust the people that you're surrounded with. Friends, family, maybe co-workers. You're going to have to trust the politicians in that 10-mile radius around you that they won't do anything stupid. You're going to have to trust them to some extent. Right? Hopefully as little as possible. Right? What is negotiable? My trust is not negotiable. Right? That's just who I am. I don't think trust is something that's negotiable. Right? There are some vagaries and some funny instances in it, but it's not negotiable. But, you know, nobody's short. Nobody's perfect. Everyone makes mistakes. It's going to get interesting. When shit hits the fan, trust is going to be very interesting. I'll ask you to trust me on that. You may not think of it in these terms, though. You might just say that person's an asshole. They burned me. You just don't know anything about them. There's going to be other people you think you know, and they're going to demonstrate exactly what their value is. It's going to be interesting. I don't want to use the word scary, but I guess scary applies also. You know, can you trust the men around you? Can you trust the women around you? There are so many factors. That's why I say you should have food and water, shelter, clothing, medicine, means of self-defense. Should have all of those things. Right? They have a determinate value. They have real value, those things. But the big X factor, right, is people. People in your group, people in your world, those with power, those without. I've been thinking about it today, just a bit. Right? People who want to be involved in my life. And people I work with. You just don't know. Anyways, enough rambling on. I'm going to enjoy my drink. I enjoyed my cigar. I want you to have a good night, Get a good night's sleep. Have a great day. All of those things. But really, sit down and think about it. Who do you trust? And is that trust, right? Does it change in value? Is it negotiable? Can you be bought off? Think about it for yourself. Think about who you are as a person. Can you be bought? In other words, will you be a traitor? Will you sell out other people? Will you justify it if you do? Is there any justification for selling out or breaking trust with somebody? I only drank that too fast. You guys, things are getting really dicey. It's just, like I said, just now becoming spring. And the stupid is kicked off. It's kicked off politically, socially. It's kicked off everywhere. Having listened to and read several articles about politics and the economy today, there's some events coming in the next few weeks. It could be extended up to 2 months, but there's some big things coming, right? And we'll see how they play out. Once again, some of it's predictions, some of it is unsubstantiated reports that trickle down and find their way to me. But if there's one thing I can ask you to trust me on, it's that you can't be too careful with everything that's going on. We can't trust the politicians to fix this. We can't trust the bankers to fix this. Trust on high, trust yourself, do your very best. Chance favors the prepared mind. Right? Is yours. Right? All you can do is get prepared. And thinking about trust is one of those things you need to be prepared to deal with. Because there's going to be a lot of upset people, not only on what's going on around them, but within their very groups. So you guys be cool. I'll talk to you tomorrow. Semper Fi. Godspeed.